Alright, so to start the top, you're gonna need to take a few measurements. First, you're gonna have to measure your bust. So you take your meter and you pass it over. Me gives me 34 inches. Okay? Afterwards, you're gonna measure your armpit to all the way down your waist. Okay? So the armpit all the way down to the waist gives me about 14 inches. So what you're gonna do next is basically cut a piece of cloth with the following dimensions. All right, now I have my machine ready. Everything's secure. I can go. And cut. Good girl. So now that you got your stitching done here, what you kind of want to do is fold this. I don't know if this camera's gonna pick it up. Yeah. So fold this inwards like this. Iron it. And then just put a stitch over it so it doesn't show. Okay? So now that we have the first stitch done, we're gonna fold this and redo another stitch on top of it because you don't really want all these little things to show. So you just put it in your machine. There we go. There we go. Oops. Pull the stuff out. And cut. There you go. So you have the stitching done over it. I mean, it doesn't really have to be perfect. It just has to kind of like fold this in and hide it. So what you have to do is basically the second part, the second side. Pretty much do the same thing. All right? All right, so the next part would actually would be to sew on the zipper onto your soon-to-be shirt. So you take one of the parts that you stitched, and I'm gonna choose the one that's longer because I want it to open a bit further down in the back. And this will be obviously the outside part because on the inside there's all this mess going on. And the zipper, you're gonna position it obviously down. And the left side will go onto the end, right? So you will have to basically just position it exactly top and then to bottom. Just make sure it covers the stitching because you don't want the mess to show. Okay? Alright, so now everything is set and you just have to sew. This part I actually do it really slowly because you do want the line to be straight. And you really want to get as close to the zipper as you want, but without actually getting onto it. Scissors. Just cut. So you have the zipper basically stitched up. And then, you know, we will use it later on that way. And now what we'll need to do is to basically sew on the other side on which we have worked, right? So now that we have the zipper in, basically, you know, I mean, you can check if it works and do it. This goes in the back. I'll show you a little bit later how it looks like. But now what we need to do is actually close this part up and all the way down. I'm leaving a little bit of extra length on this thing, you know, because I'm thinking about actually being able to tuck it into my my skirt. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna stitch it together, but we're gonna do it from the inside. That way, we're gonna hide it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna turn your shirt, well, shirt to be, inside out. And right where the zipper ends, basically, you're gonna take those two parts and just sew them together. Just as simple as that. So, remove the foot, pull a little bit out. Okay. That's it. You don't have to worry about being super perfect. It's okay if there's a few things sticking out. We're gonna take care of them later. So now you can actually turn it back inside out. And this is the final product. Well, not really final, but I mean, that's what you should have. So it's like a tube top that goes on top of you and just opens up in the back. See? All right, everybody. So once you've got the zipper on and you try it on, this is what it's supposed to give you. Around the bust, it should be like relatively good and loose. Like I actually managed to zip up my zipper and it looks great. Because of all the sewing, it actually turned out that the bottom is a little bit loose. So what I'm gonna do, it's always better, you know, to have too much than not enough. I'm actually gonna kind of measure how much do I want to keep of this top, because at some point I just can't roll it down anymore because I just made it too tight. And keep the fold line on. And what we're gonna do, we're just gonna obviously again sew a line and just chop off the rest. Okay? So I'll see you. So once you basically sewn the bottom part, all you really have to do is flip it back out. And this unwanted material, you can literally just cut it off. So bigger scissors for this stitchings, just chop them off. There we go. Get rid of a little bit of this. So once you basically turn it around, pardon all the threads that are sticking out, it should give you something like this. It's basically like a tube top. See? What you're gonna do, you're gonna measure your straps, okay, from where it starts until where it ends. And we're gonna make the straps and we're gonna sew it onto them, and the Alice costume will be very, very close to finish. Okay? Okay. So my straps actually measure about 12.5 inches. So I'm gonna make sure to cut them about 13 inches. That way I have a little bit of space to sew them. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna take your trusty little meter and basically measure well, the 13 inches. I'm just gonna cut it here, so it's actually gonna be right about here. I'm eyeballing most of my stuff. I'm not really measuring that much, just to have enough material. Better too much than not enough, right? So I'm thinking about actually making my straps about 1.5 inches wide. And we're going to be folding them in two to actually give them a little bit of thickness, because obviously this is not a very thick material. And in order to have even the parts we're gonna sew them, you need even more material for that. So I would say like about 4 inches. It's funny because I'm actually making an Alice in Wonderland costume and wearing the Cheshire Cat. Go. 4 inches. All right, so the way we're gonna work on the strap, we're gonna fold it in two, right? Well, I mean like inside out. And we're gonna sew around it, right? And afterwards, we're gonna pull it inside out, so the nice part of the fabric is going to be outside, and then we'll just sew it to the top and we'll be done. Okay, so after numerous struggles with my machine, finally this is basically what the strap looks like. It's sewed from the inside, so all you have to really do at the end is just, you know, attach it to your shirt and you're basically done. So the way I did this strap, I pretty much just took a piece and ironed it on the side. And then what you're gonna do, you're gonna just flip it around because you want the nicer part on the outside. But when you're sewing, all the nicer parts are always on the inside, right? And then you just wanna pass it through your machine. So you just wanna kind of measure it to make sure it's gonna be the same width. And the thing I like about this fabric, because it's stripy, I can always orient myself by the stripes. Let's try to get this done. Oh, my roommate is here. Everybody say hi to my roommate. Roommate, say hi. You're on camera. You're on camera.
Who is it?
This is my camera, and whoever's gonna view this video. YouTube.
Oh, no, no. Hell no. Hell no.
So there you go.
I'll make sure to say big words, so like big bad words, so you won't, you know.
I'm just gonna bleep you. Bleep.
No, don't do that, please.
So there you go. The first part is basically done, and now you have to do is,
Seriously?
yeah, then you have to sew here to kind of close up the pouch if you want to.
You're giving a class?
No, I just decided to film it. I think it was fun.
Okay.
So
Like I said, I would be filming myself.
don't ask. She discovered her secret, guys.
This is to iron. You're so...
We don't have an iron. I improvise. So there we go. Just kind of like, you know, pull it out. And continue pulling. It's just like a little, takes a little bit of time, but. Alright, so this is my shirt. Now you got the strap sewn in, and the back is pretty much done as well, and you have your little zipper that opens and closes. You're pretty much set. All you have to do is do some final touch-ups on the inside, because this is obviously a mess. It shouldn't be that way. Just take some scissors and you just cut everything off. Just make sure you don't have any obviously loose ends. If you do, then tie them up before cutting them. And all you have left is to just make sure that it looks clean, even if it's from the inside. I mean, it doesn't matter if there's a few extra knots or a few things laying on and off. But I mean, you're gonna be wearing it, so I still want it to look more or less nice. There we go. We have a shirt.